So last night during the debates, there was a nice little exchange between Senator Cory Booker, former Vice President Joe Biden. You might get some laughs out of this one if you didn't already see this exchange last night. This is great. This is truly rich right here. Of course, Joe Biden took a trip back to the Gaffe factory again. Makes a couple of little screw ups along the lines. Just keep your eyes out for those. And Cory Booker just completely took Joe Biden to task. So let's just take a look at this little exchange and then we'll discuss.
I wanted to return back to this issue of black voters. I have a lifetime of experience with black voters. I've been one since I was 18. Nobody on this stage should need a focus group to hear from African American voters. Black voters are pissed off and they're worried. They're pissed off because the only time our issues seem to be really paid attention to by politicians is when people are looking for their vote. And they're worried because the Democratic Party, we don't want to see people miss this opportunity and lose because we are nominating someone that isn't trusted, doesn't have authentic connection. And so that's what's on the ballot. And issues do matter. I have a lot of respect for the vice president. He has sworn me into my office as a hero. This week, I hear him literally say that I don't think we should legalize marijuana. I thought you might have been high when you said it. and let me tell you, because marijuana in our country is already legal for privileged people. And the war on drugs has been a war on black and brown people. And so let me just say this. With more African Americans under criminal supervision in America than all the slaves since 1850, do not roll up into communities and not talk directly to issues that are going to relate to the liberation of children, because there are people in Congress right now that admit to smoking marijuana, while there are our kids are in jail right now for those drug crimes. And so these are the kind of issues that mean a lot to our community, and if we don't have somebody authentically, we lost the last election. Let me just give you this data example. We lost in Wisconsin because of a massive diminution, a lot of reasons, but there was a massive diminution in the African American vote. We need to have someone that can inspire, as Kamala said, to inspire African Americans to the polls at record numbers.
Thank you, Senator Booker. Vice President Biden, you can respond to that.
I'll be very brief. Number one, I think we should decriminalize marijuana, period. And I think anyone who has a record should be let out of jail. Their record.
Whoa. Hold up. One moment here. Joe, you think that marijuana should be decriminalized? Now, Cory Booker you said you didn't want to make marijuana legal. You're saying you think it should be decriminalized. So, Joe, let's just take just one moment here and let's listen to your comments exactly on what you had to say about marijuana. Let's just listen to your own words for a moment, okay, Joe?
The truth of the matter is, there's not nearly been enough evidence that has been acquired as to whether or not it is a gateway drug. It's a debate, and I want a lot more before I legalize it nationally. I want to make sure we know a lot more about the science behind it.
Okay, Joe, I'm running into just a little bit of confusion here with you, buddy. You don't want to legalize it until we do more research on it, but you do want to decriminalize it and let everyone. So if you're decriminalizing it, Joe, why aren't you legalizing it? I mean, if it's not a legal substance, then it's criminal. I mean, what are you going to do? Say that we won't put you in jail, but we'll write you tickets? More of good old Joe Biden making some just wonderful, wonderful points, talking nothing but sense. That's this guy, man. Good Lord.
Expunged, it be completely zeroed out. But I do think it makes sense, based on data, that we should study what the long-term effects are for the use of marijuana. That's all it is. Number one, everybody gets out, record expunged. Secondly,
So, again there, Joe, you can definitely do that and still make it legal, but that's not what you said on Saturday, Joe. You said you have to go through all of these things before you make it legal nationally. Now you're going to decriminalize it, let everybody out of jail, but you want to do these studies. How many more circles do you want to run around in this debate, Joe? Good grief.
I'm part of that Obama coalition. I come out of the black community in terms of my support. If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus, the only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate, a whole range of people.
No,
my point is,
that's not true. The other one is here.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected. Come on.
No, you didn't, Joe. No, you didn't. So for those of you who didn't catch that, rewind back a little bit. He said very clearly, the only African-American woman ever elected to the Senate. And you immediately see Cory Booker's face go, huh? Kamala Harris. Just a couple of spots down from you. I'm pretty sure she's an African-American woman. And I'm pretty sure she considers herself an African-American woman. And Joe, she ain't endorsed you for crap because she's running for president. And when there's like, that's not true. Yeah, it's not true. Oh, no. Oh, I said the first. No, son, you said the only. The only. Joe, I'm going to make a recommendation to you. Drop out. You're out of touch. You do not resonate with people the way you think you do. Most of the people who are behind you because you rode Obama's coattails. And they don't probably follow politics that closely, but they know who you are and they liked Obama. So therefore, that was Obama's VP. If Obama liked him, I'll like him. But people who really start watching you, listening to what you have to say, paying attention to your details, their hearts get broken very quickly. And it takes just moments like this. Because while 2 people sitting there like, hello, African-American woman elected to the Senate. Over here, Joe. Over here. And then Joe's like, oh, no. I said the first. Joe, drop out. You're out of touch. Okay? You've got too many corruption ties to you. With the whole Burisma Holdings, your son, you did do the quid pro quo that the Democrats are currently accusing Trump of, which is, we won't give Ukraine X until you do X. You told the president of Ukraine that. I can't remember, is he president or prime minister? Either way, you told the president, their leader, their elected leader, okay, we're not going to give you this money unless you fire this prosecutor, and this prosecutor just so happened to be starting an investigation on a company your son had ties to. That's not good either. So, Joe, drop out. Call it a day. Take the advice that reportedly Obama gave you before you ran, which was, you don't have to do this, Joe. Drop out. Call it a day. Let it go. And go check into Shady Pines. Because, Joe, I really don't want to make fun of the elderly here. And I know that last comment may be taken to some as a little bit too offensive. But, Joe, dude, seriously, your mental capacity is not there anymore. You've always been full of gaffes. But at this point, your history of gaffes combined with just old age and your mind withering away at the same time, Joe, you're making yourself look like more and more of a jackass with every debate. Just stop. Just stop and go away. You represent the very thing that handed Trump the win in 2016, even though all the pollsters said he would lose. You are part of that corporate Democrat group, and no one sees a good change in you. You won't win. Let it go. Just let it go, Joe.
So my point is that one of the reasons I was picked to be vice president was because of my relationship, long-standing relationship with the black community. I was part of that coalition.
Yes, Joe, that was the reason that Obama picked you to be his VP. You've got a long, mile-long relationship and a history with the black community. You've also got a long history with Senator Robert Byrd. Is Robert Byrd a African-American senator? No, he's white. He's real white. You know how white he was? He was so white, he wore white sheets. Yeah, Joe. That's some history with the African-American community. There's pictures of you and old Senator Robert Byrd together. And what did Cory Booker and Kamala Harris try to rip you on a few months back? The fact that we used to be able to wheel and deal, and you talk about some of these old racist politicians from back in the old days that you used to wheel and deal and get things done with. That's some history, Joe. Oh, that's a history. That's a history. Yep, that's impeccable, man. Wow. That's all I can say to that is wow. Yeah, it's definitely time for Joe Biden to just drop out. I don't care what he's sitting in the polls. If he's having this much trouble now, you know, he made that analogy, you know, Donald Trump was that guy you take out behind the gym and beat him up, or however it was he put it. Joe, Trump's going to mop the floor with you in a general election, my friend. You know, I get it. Trump can come out unhinged. I get Trump can come out to sound like, you know, to some people like he, you know, wrong, talking all over people. Okay. So I will give. It's not that Trump's going to mop the floor with Joe Biden over policy and precision. No. It's the fact that Trump has that method, and it's going to resonate with his base, just like it did in 2016, because it sounds like, you know, that he's going to frame it, oh, you're not letting me speak. You're not letting me speak. You're not letting me talk. Oh, it's wrong. You going to let me retort? Oh, great. 3-on-1 again. He's going to do that. It's going to get over with his base. He may not be able to whip you on policy, but in the meantime, Joe, you're going to be stumbling all over yourself, trying to keep up with what it is you have to say, trying to keep up with what it was you were supposed to say, and then when you flub it up, try to go back and correct it, and you're going to look like a idiot. And when more and more people are seeing you look this weak, look this poor, you're going to have a much worse look. Look, many people said that Hillary Clinton was able to stay much more on point than Donald Trump in the 2016 debates, and she lost. So for someone who's literally talking and stumbling all over themselves, can't keep it straight, can't keep the story straight, and can't keep their line straight, what makes you, Joe Biden, think that with that sort of weak performance and all this stumbling up and your campaign people trying to keep you off TV, trying to keep you hidden as much as possible, because they're afraid that if the more you're exposed, the farther it's going to hurt you, Joe. So what makes you think that if Clinton couldn't get the job done in 2016, that when you get up there with that weak performance, that you're going to inspire people to come out and vote for you? You know, they're going to look at it and say, so I got a choice between two old white guys. One acts like an idiot and the other one is. That's going to inspire a lot of people to come out and vote for you, huh, Joe? Yeah. No, Joe. if you or some of those other people on that stage get that nomination, Trump will have 2 terms. Yeah, mark my words. You are not the candidate to take Trump down. Now, I'd like to emphasize one final point that Cory Booker made earlier in the night about marijuana already being legal for privileged people. Man, he just slapped Joe Biden around on that issue. Now, is there a law that physically says if you're rich and powerful, you can smoke marijuana and you poor people cannot? No. So on the book, it's still technically not legal unless you're in a state where it has become legal. Okay? So in that sense, Cory Booker was being more figurative than literal. It's not literally legalized for the privileged and the wealthy and the powerful. But they don't get treated the same way by any means. Now, Cory Booker tried to emphasize that it's only on black and brown people. And while statistics show those are the majority of the people impacted by this, I emphasize again, I won't dispute that one bit, because if you go back and you study to how marijuana became illegal in the first place, it was lobbied to the federal government to be made illegal by William Randolph Hearst, who owned Hearst Publications, a newspaper company, and he used his newspaper company as a propaganda arm, basically, to start running stories about Hispanic people and black people, saying that it's what they smoke. It's why the Mexican people, never woke up and slept all day long, and basically implying they're a bunch of lazy bums. And it's also, he claimed that people were saying it was devil's weed because it's what black people smoked. It's what black men smoked that made them want to rape the white women. This is the kind of stuff that they ran about marijuana way back a long time ago when they lobbied the federal government to make it illegal. Now, of course, the story goes deeper from there. So, yes, the fact that it does impact minorities, that's an issue that goes all the way back to when it was first made illegal in the first place. However, does that mean they don't come after any white people for it? No. I mean, they do. There's plenty of white people locked up over it, too. But the point is, regardless of your color, you get treated a particular way and you get locked up for these drug offenses if you wear a blue collar. Now, if that collar was white, it also doesn't matter the color of your skin. You get a little, if you get anything, you get that little slap on the back of your hand. Willie Nelson, probably one of the most notorious potheads in existence still. The man smoked so much pot, he found a way to convert it into diesel fuel to run on his tour bus. That's how much pot Willie Nelson smokes. Willie Nelson is a major stoner. Okay? He got busted with a lot of it. What was his deal to get out of one of the charges? The judge said that if he came in and performed Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain for the court, it would be dismissed. So the next time one of you get arrested for a marijuana charge, maybe you should ask, can you sing the judge's favorite song to him to get out of it? Yeah, I bet he might tack on another freaking year. So yes, huge double standard. Huge double standard there. And it just makes Joe Biden look like even more of an out-of-touch candidate and even more of a complete, mentally wandering jackass. Pure and simple. Now, I'm not, a huge Cory Booker fan either. I do think Cory Booker has a lot of private and public positions. But on this particular issue, man, he KO'd Joe. He KO'd Joe, and he did it very, very well. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Independent Report. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and like the video. Also, if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to ask, or topics you'd like us to cover, please drop a comment in the comment box below. And also, please subscribe to the channel, and if you do subscribe, ring that bell so you'll stay up to date when we drop new videos and you'll get notifications of it. And also, please support us on Patreon. Funds are going to be used to grow and improve this channel so we can reach more and more people and spread the message that the mainstream media doesn't want to tell people. We hope you'll tune in next time.